Welcome to the Sharmark Show. I am your host, Sharmark. And music is in the air, jazz is in the air, and at the Sharmark Show, we're going to get busy in terms of music. We have a group here, we have brothers here, and we have I would say, musicians, not in the making, but then I think they're big names. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Can I get your name?
Well, my name is Menelik Nus.
What's it?
Menelik Nus.
Good evening, sir.
And I'm Dawit Nus.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
All right. So let's dive straight into it, gentlemen. Give us a little history. I know you all signed Nus, and Nus is a big name in St. Lucia. When you have the MSc Nus, you think of music. When you think of the Lucia'S, you have music. But how did you all get into the music? How did the passion for music came along?
For me, well, naturally, since I grew up in a musical family, I was always around music. Music was always in the air. I was always absorbing music. So from small, I had an ear for it. It was always something that affected me, not just listening, but spiritually. Like I had a deep connection to music from seeing my grandfather playing Emerson Nus, from seeing Lufa and all of these guys. They always impacted me, but as I grew older, I started to enjoy it even more. And then I picked up the drums at a young age as well. But then I just used to play for fun. It wasn't anything like serious. I was playing for fun.
It's funny you said drum. Why drums out of all the instruments?
Why drums? I think because in primary school I don't remember why, but I think I started with percussion actually. Like percussion and the actual drums, like not a drum set. Like I used to play in primary school. And then my sisters used to go to the School of Music, and I used to go there to see them. I wasn't the active part of it. So you used to go to see
them and just picking up on free lessons at the same time?
I guess, yeah. I was just there. I just used to go to see them. I wasn't actively part of the school, but then I remember I took one lesson. I don't remember how it happened, but my uncle, Ricardo Francois, he's a drummer. He used to teach there. And I got one lesson with him, and that was my introduction into playing the drum set. So he taught me like basics and stuff like that. And afterwards, I don't remember why I never had a lesson again. But
wow.
from then on,
history.
Yeah, from then on, I kept playing. And then 2 years ago, that's when I can say I really started taking it seriously. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a musician.
A musician,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
And what encouraged you? How did you start into the music?
Well, as you said, we grew up around music from a very young age.
So basically, the stories are similar. So which instrument do you play?
I play bass, guitar.
Oh, bass guitar. Why the bass?
Well, I didn't really see anybody else fit for the job more than me.
Okay,
So,
I like that. It's very confident. I like that.
And I felt like I would be able to take it really far. I would be able to make a name for myself by playing bass.
Okay, cool. So you can just listen to a song and you can blend in it with the bass?
Yes.
Oh, nice. You as well? The drums?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So I understood you have a band. What is the name of the band?
Starseeds.
That's nice. I like that.
Yes,
That's
that's
different.
it.
Does it have a meaning behind it?
My sister was the one who selected the name, Starseeds. She actually, I think she said when she was younger, she used to always imagine us being in a band because we used to play instruments separately, like from longer, but we never got together to play music or anything like that.
Okay, nice.
So I think she said she had the name. She said she had the name there, just waiting.
Okay, just waiting for the right time.
And when we had to actually start and actually had to perform, somebody had to choose a name, and she was like Starseeds.
So your two sisters, both of them just sing, or they play? One of them play a different instrument?
Well, one of them sing, the singer, she actually used to play violin at the School of Music.
Oh, nice.
But she's stopped, but she's singing now. And my other sister plays piano. That's my older one.
Okay, nice.
And
So
she went to
the
the School
four
of
of you all
Music as well.
together comes
Yes.
as the Starseeds.
Yes.
Of Universe. But how does it, how does it feel when you go out to play and you look around and like you realize it's just your siblings? What is that connection like?
It would make me feel better, as in, let's say if it's in front of a large audience, I wouldn't feel nervous or anything, because,
You feel like you have the support?
yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you?
Yeah, it feels really good to know that, you know, all of us are doing well and all of us have a similar passion. And you know, they have a lot of stories about siblings who have, you know, problems with each other and stuff like that. And we have none of that. We all just love music and we came together and we were doing it. So I'm very happy about that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So that means you're a very strong family. You're very
Yeah.
tight. That's good.
Yeah.
How far do you want to go in the music business?
Me, I want to go as far as I
And you
can.
say that and you just light up. I like that.
I want to go as far as it could go. You know, for now we're just, you know, we're a local band, but I want to go internationally. I want to play all over the world.
I like that. Yeah.
That's
Where
what
have
I
you all
hope
played
for.
as a band?
Well, in
St. Lucia?
In St. Lucia, well, we played at Junior Jazz last year, and we play mainly at ESP Gwen Buffet. That we play there every month, once a month. So we haven't really gone out too much as of yet, but we hope to do that soon.
Okay, nice. I like that.
I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the mood had turned to gold. Blue moon. No, I'm no longer alone. Without a dream in my heart. Without a love of my own.
Who is your biggest inspiration in terms of music?
Cannot pick one specific inspiration because there's a wide variety. But I would say, locally, obviously my grandfather, my uncle. I'll just say my entire family.
Family, yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of music are you all drawn to? Because they have soca, they have jazz. What kind of music should we expect from you all in the future? Or is there a particular type of music that you all have already started playing?
Well, yeah, we mainly play jazz.
Oh,
straight ahead
nice.
jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of jazz?
Straight ahead, like traditional jazz.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we were mainly into, but we play everything.
Everything.
We play everything. We play
It's a
reggae,
very
we play-
versatile band.
Yeah, we play everything. Yeah.
Oh, jazz is good. So we mean in the next, I would say, in the next 2 years, I guess there would be jazz main stage. That would be good.
Yeah.
Wow. The way you say it, that's good. Yes. Because I think when you hear jazz, I think I like that you're a jazz band. Because when you hear jazz, for me, when you hear jazz and you find we don't have much jazz artists here, but they say jazz and you
Yeah.
go to jazz, but to me, I would just call it a music festival.
Yeah.
And I like that the fact that it's jazz.
Yeah.
Like it's a different, I'm not into jazz, but sometimes I think there's a bit jazz. So do you do jazz roundabout, everything?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We'll get more information from Dennis when we get back. Welcome back. Gentlemen, question. What does it feel to have two huge icons in the family? You have Lucia'S and you have your granddad, Emerson's. How does it feel even when you rehearse the music with him? How does it feel?
It feels amazing because younger, when I used to listen to these guys play, and they play jazz, they're jazz musicians. When I listened to them play, I didn't understand what was going on. Like I didn't really know what was going on. Like I was hearing the music, it was enjoyable to me. But now that I've gotten into it and I'm actually a musician now, and I understand what's going on and playing with them, it's an amazing feeling to see from back then to where I've come now. And they're incredible musicians, and I still have a lot to learn from them. And it's a very amazing feeling to have them in my family.
What does that feel for you?
Honestly, it feels like a blessing to have two great musicians in my family, and getting to play with them was very uplifting experience, because I know I wouldn't be able to experience that for too long.
So you all went from listening to your these icons playing, and now you actually can back up them as part of the team.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
Do you all sing at all?
Well, in primary school, I used to sing in the choir. My mother was actually the music teacher at the time, and she was in charge of the school choir, and I used to sing in the choir in primary school. But
Okay.
when I went to secondary school, I went to SMC. I never sang again.
Never sang.
And I think I never got back into it because it was something, when you're in the choir, you're singing every day, so you get into practice. But in secondary school, I never sang again. So I like singing, but
I think
I
we
haven't
should,
gotten into it.
especially have a jazz, because jazz is like kind of soft. We come and like spoken words. Because if I did, maybe you'll get 2 gigs and you have to, maybe your sister cannot make it, and then you have a backup singer. Sometimes I think you try to make it a little more versatile.
Yeah.
Do you sing at all?
Well, I used to sing.
Primary school guys, you know sing it. You only want to sing it for the females. Okay. Nice.
That's the way to live. If you grope and grow, something's gotta give. Just go your way and laugh and play. There's joy unknown in a mellow tone.
I mean, like apart from St. Lucia jazz, sometimes you really hear nothing apart from jazz after the jazz festival is done. It's just soca and calypso and maybe gospel. But if you had the powers, what would you like to see or to happen in St. Lucia in terms of jazz music?
I think jazz just needs a bit more exposure, I guess, but I can't really say how exactly they would do that. Can't really say how exactly they would do that. But I think over time, as more musicians, because there are not much jazz musicians in Lucia.
No.
It's very few, so it's not easy for people to get exposed to it because people don't know what's going on.
The radio stations, I find they don't play jazz music that much unless if it's not around the jazz festival. They might highlight the artists that might be playing for the season. Yeah, it would be nice because it's kind of, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow. Because when I was interviewing some musicians, I wasn't thinking jazz. Because you're not thinking that young people are interested in jazz. But the fact that you have 2 icons in the family, it would be natural that you would actually go to swing to the jazz side instead of soca or anything like that.
Yeah, but the thing with jazz as well, it's a live thing. Like, how do I explain this? So, for you to really get into jazz, you have to kind of like see it. Like, it's not really something you can just, you can't listen to it and you can't listen to it and just enjoy it. But part of it for me, when I got into jazz, it was because of seeing them play. It wasn't just hearing it or whatever. Because I saw my grandfather and I saw them play, I went online to look at like, what is that? Like, I didn't know what it was. I had to go online and look at it and figure out.
So you did your own research so you can
and then I was like, okay, I discovered other jazz musicians. I was like, okay, this is what they're doing, and like this is what I was looking for.
Okay.
So it's kind of a live thing, so it's not easy for you to. You can't. Yeah, you have to see it. You kind of have to go out and see the performers perform themselves for you to really understand what's going on. But,
so, from your band as the family, with your siblings, have you all arranged any music of your own, instrumental or
Well, in the making.
in the making?
Yeah.
Nice. It would be interesting to hear that. The fact that I interview you now, I mean, like, it would be interesting to hear something that you all arrange and stuff like that, to see how you grow. But I wish you all the best in that because I think jazz is huge, and when you speak about it, you sound very passionate about it. So I can only imagine how far you all would go as a band. And I think as a band, do you think you would... Okay, the question is, do you think you have more strength as a band or as an individual? Because most times you see persons start off as a band and 10 years later, they might go solo.
I don't think our band will ever break up or anything like that. We have a very strong connection.
That's the question. That's the answer I was expecting because of the way you... Because of the way you all mesh. I would expect that kind of answer. And the fact that it's a family.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back. We'll get more information from the NIS and the band, and where direction they go in with jazz music in St. Lucia. Welcome back. Thank you for joining. Gentlemen, tell us about how do you feel performing in front of a crowd? Because I think you say once a month you perform on Gwena Buffet, was it?
Yeah, Gwena Buffet, yeah.
Oh, that's the name.
That's the
Gwena
name,
Buffet.
yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting name. I like that. That's the name. It's like a bar.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, nice. So you have jazz music and spoken words and
Yeah, you have multiple.
oh, nice. Okay. What is the feeling like performing in front of the crowd? Do you look forward to that performance every month? What is it like?
I look forward to it a lot. I love performing in front of a crowd. I do get nervous.
And by the time you
I'm
hit the
always
drum-
nervous. I'm always nervous. But like
At what
after
time
like
do you get comfortable?
maybe if we play 2 songs and 2 songs are faster, then I get
2 songs?
yeah. or 2 songs. Or
That's
2
how the
songs,
whole
but-
6 minutes. eh?
yeah, but
Okay.
that's when I get comfortable. But I like it, even though I get really nervous. It's what's the word? It's an exhilarating feeling. Like it's a very
Nice.
yeah.
So, what was the feeling like last year? I think there was jazz at the what's it called?
Serenity Park.
Serenity
Yeah.
Park. Yes. What was that feeling like? Because it was open air. I mean, like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a free jazz, so there was quite a bit of persons. And did you all play as a band?
Yes, we played as a band. We also played with different acts as well. So we had there were 2 days. There was a day 1 and there was a day 2. We played on day 1 and we played on day 2 as
So
well.
it was like it was the main act.
yeah.
What was that
Well-
feeling like? Almost like moving from your comfort zone from playing at the bar.
It was a new feeling. It was a good feeling. That was actually our first time playing outside
Oh, nice.
as a band. So it was a learning experience and it was a enjoyable experience as well.
Okay. As a jazz artist, and the fact that we have a lot of maybe young people playing music and stuff. So if a young person wants to go into jazz music, what can you tell them to encourage them?
Well, I could tell them, listen. Just listen to a lot of music. Listen to a lot of music and it will come to you, really. It will come to you. You just have to listen. That's what I did. I grew up listening to it. So over time, a connection was formed with the music with me. So that's how it really happened, through listening
Nice.
and a lot of practice.
Another practice.
Yeah.
Wow. How many hours? Funny you said practice. How many hours do you all practice so like that?
Well, I could say around 8 to 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll stick to it being a day.
Yeah. You probably like 24 hours.
Used to.
You serious?
Yeah.
Wow. And it's like within that 8 hours, you would play different songs, or is trying to master one particular thing?
Well, it's a bunch of different things. There's a technical aspect to it, having the physical ability to be able to play whatever in your head and to be able to be free when you're playing the instrument. So there's that. There's learning theory. There's learning songs. There's a whole bunch of different things to practice when it comes to music.
And
So-
the fact that you all are jazz musicians, do you read music?
Well, not actively, but I can't. If I have to, then I will.
You have to. Yeah, okay, nice. Because I know normally they have these music sheets. And
Yeah.
I think, especially you said you want to play around the world and stuff like that. So if you're going to play one of those big names, I guess the first thing they would do is to give you the music sheets.
Yeah, you'll have
Yeah.
to read.
You'll
To read. Yeah.
learn it. Okay. But playing the drums for jazz, is it at the same speed as playing for soca or calypso?
Yeah, it depends on the tempo. There's very up tempo jazz, 300. There's
Okay. Because
There's a wide
when I
variety
hear
of-
jazz, you go like, ting, 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 you know, like, ting, ting. So I
Yeah,
just feel
that's-
like music to put you to sleep. sometimes.
yeah. That's probably the era of jazz you're talking about.
Ah.
Because
It has evolved.
the term jazz is very, it has evolved a lot from back started all in the 20s or 30s. And
Yes,
over
yes.
time it evolved into a different thing. And now some people think jazz is just everything.
Yes.
But yeah, it depends on, but yeah, there's a lot of up tempo in it as well. So
Okay, cool. Nice. So where would you like to see yourself as a band in the, I would say, in the future?
Internationally and touring.
Wow.
That's what I want to do.
Big,
Yeah.
you out there.
yeah.
You
I want to say to
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Yes, I like that. But good luck with that. I think you all have the energy, and then you all sound like you all have the passion. And what really sync with me, the questions you answer, when you say you did not see your band, anybody going solo. So which is good. I think the fact that you all are family members, I think if you all stick together, and it look like there's a lot of unity and love, so I think you're going to go very far. Yes. So I'd like to say thank you so much for taking the time off. I know we know it was last minute, but thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I thank you so much for coming, and nice meeting you, gentlemen. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. St. Lucia, look out. Before we leave, do you all have anything on YouTube? You all have a social media handle?
No, we haven't put out anything as
You're
yet.
not keeping that music secret,
we-
like you just want to go international with everything.
Yeah.
Because you know people would see jazz and everybody would start to look for your like.
We actually have
media.
a private YouTube account and we post videos on them, but it's just for us to see for now.
Okay. Well, I
But,
guess we
yeah.
have to bear a bit of patience and
Yeah,
until we get when you're ready to expose it
Yeah,
to
yeah,
St.
yeah.
Lucia'S. Yeah. But St. Lucia, thank you for viewing. This was the Sharmark Show. Join us on Sunday. Thank you.